Hello, today we're going to take a look at 15418 East Bronco Court and compare and contrast to some earlier shots we got from the last time we shot it. First thing to look at is these drone photos. There wasn't enough information on these to edit them well, so that's why our shadows and our highlights look really weird and the colors off on these. It's just way too much contrast. The only way to shoot during such a high contrast moment is to auto bracket. So we ask that all the drone photos be AEB and the DJI drone settings. And so it's going to be an automatic exposure bracket. It's going to take a series of photos, 3 typically, at different exposures. So they're going to blend them together so that you can have a high definition resolution image at the end. That aside, just looking at the composition, these guys are a little far away. There's fat. We could cut this out and cut out a lot of this and just zoom in a little bit and just so you can fill the frame with what's important here, which is this house. So all of these are just a little bit far away. This is nice showing off the area. This is fine. And this is good here. Pretty nice. So this one we should certainly center and fill the frame more like an image like this. No really good background here, so we could definitely like cut off this and focus more on the house. And again, on this image, just a little too much fat on that. I like this photo. This is a cool capture, getting nice and low. Lots of cool angles you can find in these mid-range drone photos, so this was cool. And then I like that you got some drone coverage of this entrance here. The front shots of the house that you got were a little weak, and I'll go over those. But you kind of made up for it with these drone shots. This is kind of more of a better way to photograph this walkway. I thought these were cool angles here. Looking at Ethan's drone photos, he's going to be a lot closer. Basically the same angles you're working, but he's getting in there and filling the frame with the house. And so there's no question as to what we're looking at. Same angles here. This one's actually not too different than the one you took. Let's take a look at that. So this is yours, and then this is Ethan's. Just a little more centered, a little more framed. He's got these guys. It's a nice backyard shot, and then a nice centered overall. One angle you got that Ethan didn't get that I liked was this one, just showing off the backyard real close. I thought this was cool. Looking at this front yard, it's too big to shoot with like a wide angle lens. You're going to need more of a zoom. The only way to capture this whole thing would be from a drone shot. So the other way is to just like break it up into smaller pieces, like how you did this where you stepped in from here and then you get this doorway. You kind of cover the whole thing that way, because shots like this kind of just hide the house behind the trees, so it's kind of hard to capture that. What you can do is you can step back and use a zoom lens, compressing this space and getting the whole thing in there. So you can't do that with a wide angle, but if you've got like a zoom lens, like a 24-105 or 70-300, you could do this shot right here. And that's how Ethan captured these. If you see this one, this is where he stepped back and zoomed in on his lens, and he compressed the space, which is how he was able to fit the house into the single image. Where then on this shot, he steps in closer and then zooms the lens wide. So this might be like a 24mm here. And going between these two shots, you can see how that zoom lens is compressing the house and fitting it into the frame. And so both of these shots are really good because they got this whole space condensed into this single frame. This one making everything look wide and big, and then this one compressing and fitting it in. And that's just how he kind of got the rest of the yard in there too. And then details this driveway here. And then this is his entrance shot. So you get good dynamic coverage with these guys. And I thought between the drone and the photography coverage here, you got some good coverage as well. I would frown upon this guy. We just don't need this dead space. This kind of is what's killing this image. So this would be much better zoomed in like this. And then this would fare better as a drone shot, getting drone coverage. And then on the ground, you're only going to be able to capture this space with your camera. And so I would just like highlight this specifically and get a good photo of that. This one just has too much dead space in it again. So it's hard to capture this with a wide angle. You're going to want to break these up and then capture what you can with a zoom lens. You're just going to struggle getting this with a wide angle. Looking at your overall package, I can see that the photography is pretty straight and carefully done. You did a good shoot here. And I see that everything is void of furniture. If we look at Ethan's shoot, the house here is fully furnished still. So, there's going to be some different considerations when shooting an empty house in a fully furnished house. But a lot of the photography is still going to be the same. And one of the tricks to shooting empty houses is still breaking up the areas and photographing them uniquely, as if there was furniture there. And not just like photographing just spaces, but kind of breaking these spaces up into smaller chunks so that they make sense. One room that exemplifies that best is this space right here, this living room with the giant window doors and this kitchen dining room area. Because there's no furniture here, you're kind of looking at this space like just one giant space. So every photo you have encompasses the whole space. It shows the living room and the kitchen and the dining room there. So everything's just big and kind of impersonal. It's good to get at least one shot like this covering that area and then breaking it up into smaller chunks. Coming in and then detailing this and filling the frame with the kitchen, and then just uniquely photographing that. So we want one overall, and then you can kind of step in and start breaking it up. So I noticed there wasn't any like hero shots of this main kitchen. We're definitely going to want some coverage of that kitchen, showing off the appliances in that space. But you see every photo here has just been a big wide open space. Even this one where you're in the kitchen. And then kind of again here, I know it's a big shoot, but it really does fill out the photo package when you come in and then kind of get mid-ranges and kind of fill in with these more pretty photographs. We're not just trying to show off the space, but we're trying to photograph it like most effectively so every photo is really pretty. You've got good coverage of straight-ons and corners here. It'd be just a little filled out nicer with some mid-range and some detail shots, especially like in here in the kitchen. Make sure like, we didn't have like a real hero shot of this fire pit or the appliances here. It's easy to forget that when there's no furniture in the shoot, you just start thinking about these things as spaces and not breaking them up. And then when you have the furniture, it's just easy to see these different spaces. So we didn't get any shots like this. Just wide open shots, nothing personal, nothing detailed and close up. We didn't get any shots like this of the kitchen, straight on hero detailing all of the appliances here. Here's kind of like that shot you had, but this one's still focused in and more personal. And then another one here. And so this would be much more better coverage of the kitchen. It feels personal, it's close up, you can get like good details of it, and it really just fills the frame with what's important there. Here's the closest photo you have to that. So even though these are all good photos, I just like you to step in and detail these a little more and kind of just get in a little closer. It just feels good. Great coverage there. I liked your backyard and pool coverage. You had some cool photos back here. I thought that was nice. We are missing like a good photo of this jacuzzi area. Whenever there's a jacuzzi, we definitely want that hit. You have some good space photography throughout the house. These are good photos of the empty space, but they kind of detail some of the nicer touches. This would also fare for like a nice hero shot there. Kind of want coverage of that amenity. Good space shot here. Good photography in this room with the straight on. Nice one there. You and Ethan had some similar coverage of the bathroom here. I like both of your photos. He did have a nice mid-range here, stepping up, and I hope you feel that this is like a personal shot. It's nice to kind of get these mid-ranges. You want far away, mid, and close-up details in these bigger shoots, and it just makes it feel more personal and not like empty space. So here's your bathroom coverage. Good photos, especially this one. Like this one a lot, but all just sort of far away. Could use a real mid-range in here. One other thing I'd like you to try photographing next time is if you see a staircase like this, definitely try and get some shots of this. They photograph really well like this. Ethan's a kind of a master at this. He sees three cool things here. We've got a spiral staircase. We've got this chandelier and this great view outside. And he just kind of does some very basic shape work here and kind of fits it all in. This is a cool photo. I've been liking some staircase photos coming out of Denver Lens recently. These are cool. Another amenity you should be certain to capture if you see something like this. Real quickly before wrapping up, I'd like to kind of look at Ethan's backyard photos just so you can get a sense of what he was doing. This is a great overall shot encompassing the whole backyard. And then he steps in and starts breaking it up. So now this is the pool area. He's got his hero hot tub shot and then a similar shot that you had earlier. And then these two are wide and then steps in and fills it with like more of a mid-range. And I hope you can feel the difference between these two. Empty space, kind of void, and then he steps in and just fills the frame, and this just becomes really personal and feels very nice. Be sure to utilize amenities when you see them. Fire pits should be turned on. Doors like this should be opened. You should try to fill the frame with whatever you're photographing and just center it. Like this house shot right here, it just feels a lot richer. Or the house here, we don't have a lot of empty dead space in any of these photographs. Okay, and to wrap it up, be sure to hit your AEB settings and learn that so you can get some better HDR photos coming out of your drone. Even if you're photographing empty spaces, try to step in and get a full range of far away, mid-range, and detail shots. This shot, for example, I just want us to focus in a little closer and fill the frame with the tub here. Something closer to this, cutting out any extras that we don't need. Recognizing like important amenities and knowing that you want like a really good capture of this and real good capture of this. Okay, thanks for watching this video. Go ahead and reply to it, letting us know you've reviewed everything. Thank you and have a good day.